Hello and welcome back to the Weekly Armchair. And we're back with a bang. Back with a bang. Back with a win or maybe a whimper. Who knows? But to talk me through it or with me is Deck and Hammer. Great to see you both. Deck, good to see you again, mate. I hope all is well with you.
All good now. Delighted with that. We finally got that win. We made hard work of it, but at the end of the day, it's 3 points. It's what we wanted. I think if we had our finishing boots on tonight, it would have been a lot easier for us. But come here, 3 points is 3 points. We would have taken it at the start of the game. So onwards and upwards. We'll move on to the next one.
Yeah, Hammer, yourself. Good to see you, mate. It's been a while.
Yeah, no. I was able to get back last night, but that was my first time back on in a long time. Yeah, yes, it was a little frustrating that we weren't being able to finish up top, but I think I mentioned it, and when I did the preview last night, I was a little worried if we were going to be doing that false nine, which is what we ended up starting with. But Xerxes seems to be a proper number 9, and one that we might be asking for, have been looking for. So he came in and he did what he had to do, and I think, like we both said and all three of us said in the back, that was a striker's goal, and a type of striker's goal we haven't seen in a little while.
Yeah, no, totally agree. I was interested to see how we were going to set up, or how we're going to set up potentially, maybe even in the future. I was quite surprised with how lackluster we were at times. I think our ball possession, retention wasn't the best, but yet we didn't play overly bad, I suppose. So we'll just have to see where we go. But let's start drilling down to it, guys. For some reason, I can't see the comments on my system. So if you are putting comments on, apologies. If Hammer can see them, maybe he could read them out. Same with Deck, but for whatever reason, I can't see them on my system. So it's not that we're ignoring you; I just can't see them for some reason. Right, moving on then. Let's talk about Bruno. Newly signed contracts. Seemed to have a decent Euros with Portugal. Seemed to be in what I would say good spirits for all the interviews that we've seen post his contract signing. Deck, what was your thoughts on Bruno today and his whole contribution to the game?
On any other night, he would have had 2 goals. It was just the way it went tonight. I'm delighted Bruno has signed a contract extension. I said during the off season, when people were talking about him possibly leaving, that I thought we needed to build a team around him, and I still believe that. I think he's a fabulous player. Unbelievable vision in the game, and he's just a consistent performer for us. Didn't have his best game tonight, but I mean, he wasn't bad. I mean, let's not forget it's the first game of the season. He's played a lot in what we call the off season with the Euros, so I mean, it's going to take him a while to get back up to speed. But no, I thought he had a decent game now tonight, and again, any other night he would have had 2.
Yeah, what did you think of his link up with Mount? How did you see that today?
I actually enjoyed Mount tonight, and I think definitely think he can have a good season. Yeah, he's definitely going to grow into the team. My one gripe with Mount has been he got the number 7 when he done nothing to justify it, and I've probably been giving out about that for a long time. But if he stays injury free, which is a big if, he could have a good season for us. He's actually a decent baller, so be interesting to see how the two of them play together consistently in a good run of games.
Yeah, no, I tend to agree. I think your thoughts on Bruno are ideal. I thought the same. I thought he had a big effect, certainly in the first half. Could have had 2 goals, criminal. The second miss, absolute criminal. Leno's decent, but he was quickly off his line, but it's a criminal miss he should have. And that was probably the best move of the match when you consider that the goal that we scored was a striker's goal. I think the overall play up until that point with Bruno, he should have made it 1-0. There's no two ways about it. Hammer, great to see you again as always, mate. As always, love the hairstyle.
Thank you.
As per usual, pal. What was your thoughts on Mason Mount and his link-up play with Bruno, and then moving behind about Mazraoui as well? Because I thought he had a cracking game on Mazraoui.
Yeah, so the one thing I would disagree a little bit with what you said earlier is like there were times when we were giving it away, but I do think we did okay in possession today, all things considered. And I think our midfield was more together and a little bit more consistent than we've seen in some of the last couple of seasons. And I think it is probably because we technically have 4 midfielders on the pitch, playing that false 9. So when we're playing up or anything like that, we're just dropping that false 9 person into the midfield as well. But I think their link up was good, and it's something that I think a lot of us who I don't want to be mean, but a lot of us who know football a little bit better, I think one of the things that a lot of us, Stu and Deck, I'm sure you talked about it as well in the past, is the football intelligence. And I think people now some people are going to say Bruno might not have it because he takes so many chances and he loses the ball at times. But when he has people with him who also have some intelligence, then you see better link up and better control and better decision makings. And I think Mount is giving him that in that advanced role in the midfield. And then as you asked for Mazraoui, I think he had a great game today. He was tidy, he was neat. Wasn't panicky, was able to keep possession in times where we needed it. So I think we found somebody good on that side, and however we end up going forward, I don't know. I think eventually we are going to go back to the traditional 9, and it's probably going to mean Mount getting dropped. But however we end up going forward, I think we found a possible connection and something that can work for us for example, in a game like this when we are going to be more in control and have more of the ball.
Yeah, no, totally agree. Just before I bring you back in, Deck, let's welcome Kai to the stage. How are we, mate? Been a while.
Hey, how's it going?
Yeah, good. Have you worked with Deck before?
No. How's it going, Deck?
No. Hey, Kai. First time meeting him, Stu. So.
Well, he's a bit of a legend. He's not quite at mine, but he's getting there. I've given him a bit of coaching, Deck. He's almost there, mate. He's not quite there yet, but give him time.
Yeah.
You're always one.
Still learning. I'm telling you.
He's the young apprentice. Kai, how are you, mate? I've got to. I'm just going to quickly ask you a question. I've got to phone me lad. He's just phoned me for some reason. I don't know why. So, I was just asking everybody about the game and how they thought that Bruno and Mount played together.
Yeah. I thought it was a very good game, actually. I know a lot of people think that we should be flying out of the traps or something random like that, but that doesn't make any sense. Everyone knows that it takes a few games, probably 6 games, and then, you're sort of in the rhythm of everything. But right now, you're almost it's almost like the first teams to play. So there is no vibe necessarily. So I genuinely believe that it was actually a very good game in that sense. I think a lot of people probably had some fake expectations, but I didn't. I normally have no hope generally because I've learned don't have hope, and you might be surprised, you might be impressed, or you'll just be mildly shocked or mildly depressed at what's happened. So in terms of the actual football, there are differences that we saw. Like I know it's we want to easily downplay it, but I think we saw quite a number of differences in terms of just energy. That's number 1, and 2 in terms of being more compact. 3 in terms of the way that the fullbacks pressed as well. So the fullbacks, like Mazraoui, was sitting right on Iwobi at all times, and you could see the instruction. So in the press, again, there was a lot of communication. You could see a lot of pointing. You cover over here. I'm going to go over here. By the time that happened, Casemiro was in space. Boom, we get the ball. The amount of regains that we had was actually ridiculous. And it almost looked like Casemiro was Casemiro of, 2018 Casemiro. It was, a brilliant display in that sense. And Mazraoui, listen, I've watched him a lot because I live in the Netherlands. But sometimes it's fantastic when you see something translate. And the way that it translated was really impressive to see, the fact that he was winning his duels. Like, generally, we don't win our first duels and our second balls as well. But also, I was talking to my cousin and I said, Wan-Bissaka and Mazraoui, the difference is, so people say Wan-Bissaka is not good going forward. Yes, he's actually not good going forward in the way of, do I know what I'm going to do next? Do I know what the angles are going to open up in an attacking sense? What he's good at is, okay, now I have the ball, let me do something. And then that something works, and then we do that. But with Mazraoui, you could actually see he's like, all right, I get it here. I'm going to cut in here, and I'm going to play an angled pass straight through over here on the reverse. And then after that, I shuffle back. And you could see defensively, when the ball's the other side, he inverts all the way inside in front of the opposition player, so he can actually see. So we don't do that sort of thing that you're in front of him, and then the ball all of a sudden comes this side, so much to recover. So a lot of those things were fantastic to see from someone who's playing their first game. And Mainu, for example, the first 70 minutes, midfield masterclass. Like that is almost like someone who's like, I control this now. That's what it looked like. It looked like Casemiro was doing less talking, more firefighting and doing all that stuff. And Mainu was doing more of, all right, cool, the ball's coming this side. Let's shift this side. Give me the ball, I turn. So that was also really impressive to see. And the last thing I said today, that Xerxes, I said it earlier in the morning, I was thinking to myself, and I said, he said he's a 9.5. He didn't say I don't score goals. Everyone said, oh, that means you don't score goals. And a 9.5 doesn't mean you don't score goals. Benzema was a 9.5. And that literally meant that he built up play and he found his way in the exact same position which Xerxes was in, by the way. And also, what a finish. That was a ridiculous finish. That was a disgusting finish. And also, every touch of his is so nonchalant. It's exactly like that finish. That's how he touches the ball all the time. And yeah, credit to Bruno as well. Top class number 10 performance. We just should have been finishing our chances, and that is all I'll say. We need to finish chances. Other than that, if we can continue with that intensity for a full 90, then I'm happy. We actually played well for 70 minutes of the game. That is a big step forward because we would have been finished by 50. Yeah,
Colin, well said. I think you've echoed pretty much what the lads have been saying. Interestingly enough, I was wondering about a bit of deja vu, the way that Fulham attacked us in periods of the game, the way we didn't really cope with them in periods of the game. Very similar to the way that Wolves attacked us last year. Very similar pattern of plays to the way that Wolves attacked us last year. We found that way, didn't we, to get across the line. Dec, were you thinking the same? Could you see a similar outcome, or was it just a different type of performance today that we saw against Wolves last year?
I think the defence was the difference today. And can I say that Maguire had a great game? I thought he put in a brilliant performance. I thought he was brilliant. Mazraoui, he's a different class. We saw the difference he made. I thought he was brilliant. But Maguire, for me tonight, everyone's going to go on about Xerxes winning man of the match, probably because he scored a goal, but I think Maguire put in a man of the match performance personally. After everything he's gone through, I think he came out tonight and had a point to prove, and he actually had a great game. But that was the difference, I think, from last year, the defence. And it's only going to get better when that team keep playing together consistently, and we can build from that. Any team that wants to win the Premier League or challenge for it has to have a solid base at the back. You have Martinez, who's going to kick someone in the forward and go through a player in every game. And if Maguire can bring his performances up consistently, I don't see any reason why they can't be the future pairing going forward. De Ligt came on, obviously couple of minutes, bit of a cameo. But he's going to be great for us. No, I was really impressed with it. This time last season, we would have lost that game, and that's the difference.
Yeah, I think so too. So Hammer, I want to talk to you about the big man Maguire, because I think Jack's right. Right to point him out. I thought he was excellent today. His positional play was brilliant. His thought process, his timing, all was really good today. What was your thoughts on Maguire, and what was your thoughts on the defense as a whole?
Well, I'll start off with the Maguire by saying I was somebody years ago who was probably one of the more harsh people on Maguire. I definitely wasn't happy with some of his form in the past. And I would say that, yeah, he has shut people like me up, and he's definitely brought his performances to a level that doesn't make me sit here and say we should sell him, right? Lindelof is the one that's going to be going and things like that. So, and like Dex said, with the things that he's gone through to come back, all the people doubting him like me and talking down on him and everything. So yeah, he's stuck in there, didn't bitch and moan, and he's come back to form. And I think that can only be good for us, especially in a position where we seem to have had terrible luck in the last few seasons with health and consistency and everything like that. Stu, I don't think you ever had a finish like that. No disrespect, but
do you know something? I've not really been a striker, but when I know when you put it on, I was in my heyday, fellas. I was probably I think my best goal scoring season was 22 from central defensive midfield. I used to have a knack of kind of sitting a bit deeper and then just wandering forward and kind of knowing when one of the fullbacks is going to make an error or there's going to be an errant back pass. And I'll be on it like an absolute whippet because I was relatively quick at that particular time. And then obviously I slowed down until I went centre half. But I was I know where the goal is, but Zirkzee, I could have put that away, no problem. I would have used my knee. I don't know what Zirkzee was doing with his toe. I would have used my knee. That doesn't take skill with your toe. Use your knee.
You probably would have scored Garnacho's one anyway, because I think most of us would have got.
I was going to ask Kai.
Close my eyes and scored Garnacho's one. No, but real quick, we just say on the defense, yeah, what Dex said about the defense being a lot better overall too was a great thing. And yeah, I don't know about one word, Trevor, but I'll try to keep it short. But what I will say is that one of the things that I saw that is different from last season that really impressed me, not just with the defense, but even with the defensive help of the midfielders and stuff. Even when Fulham did get an attack on us, at least to me, we didn't seem panicked. Everybody seemed like they knew what their job was, what their positioning was, what the goal was, and our pressing, like Kai said when he first came in, the amount of regains that we got, right, shows, I think, the understanding and the less of panic and the more control in the defense and those in the defensive midfield areas.
No, I totally agree. And Trev's just giving you another dig to the ribs there.
If it was my right foot, I'm scoring. If it's my left foot, it might look like Garnacho's goal.
You see, that's it, Trev. I would have put it away with both feet. No problem at all. Kai, Garnacho's error once and foremost. But how do you see? I'm more interested in how you see the dynamic of Garnacho and Ahmad this season. Did we feel that Ahmad probably obviously Garnacho only had about 20, 25 minutes, 30 minutes tops. Did he do enough to displace Ahmad, or was it vice versa that Ahmad keeps his place?
Well, I think Ahmad keeps his place, but I also think that for me this is less of a problem, and it's more of a good thing. They are so different, Ahmad and Garnacho, that if we start talking about, all right, who should start, then we know that it's going to be different. The game is going to essentially be different. It's a different game plan because of that. So I do think Ahmad probably gets another start over there. But also what happens now with Zirkzee scoring, he's not going to be on the bench the next game. he's playing the next game. So,
You would think so, yeah.
you know what I mean? Yeah, you'll be knocking on the coach's door to say, "Yo, chief, I can do the things." So, with that being said, then I think then that would require a change of shape instantly as well. So I do think we have good depth options, and I do think that it's going to be shared between that front five or so. The minutes are definitely going to be shared well. So yeah,
What
I do
was your
think.
thoughts on Garnacho's cameo? What did you notice that was
listen,
the difference between the two? I want to ask you on that one, Deck, as well.
First, I hate the fact that he missed, because why are we not serious? Like, we just have to be serious about who we are, right? We just have to put that away. He's not tired. He just came on, so it's not like he was tired. But I do think the difference between them is, of course, the angles that they have, right? So one is right-footed and one's left-footed. So Garnacho has the nanny thing about him, right? When he's on the right, he goes, and then he wants to cut inside and then make some space, or take on someone inside and take a left-footed shot, or build inside instead of really take them on the outside. Ahmad is very much, I don't know, he's like a number 10 playing on the wing. He likes to knit things a little bit, and also when he's direct, then he is mostly taking you again on the inside, but he's left-footed, so it's a different angle completely. So I do think they're different in that sense, and I think what Ten Hag wanted is, he literally said, McTominay, Garnacho, it's now direct. So we're now literally going directly into the channels. And because Garnacho's right-footed and he's running towards that direction, it was easy for him to whip them in with his right foot. He played a few passes, I think, or a few cutbacks or something. So I do think there's a little bit of good chemistry in the different types of shapes that we saw today. That's what I'd say about the two.
Jack, what was your thoughts on the dynamic of Garnacho and Ahmad? I was quite fascinated by it, to be honest.
Ahmad, I think, has cemented himself as probably, out of all of them, the one who's going to be first on the team sheet out of them front 4 or 5. I think, anyway, he's definitely more attacking at the moment. He deserves his place. And whatever one of those players goes on a score and run is going to cement his place in the starting 11 going forward. Because if one of them gets on a score and run, he's going to make himself invaluable to the team. Garnacho should have put that away tonight. I mean, Jesus. Stevie Wonder would have probably put that one away.
What you haven't heard Shaq's story? Stevie Wonder's not blind.
Stevie Wonder can see, y'all. Stevie Wonder is fully sighted.
To be consistent, he needs to start putting away chances like that. I mean, he's not going to get any more easier than that, And that's what we need. Whatever one of them starts banging in the goals is going to cement himself as a regular starter, and he won't. And Ten Hag will keep that person then in the team and rotate the rest of them. So it's in their interest to start putting the goals away, because it'll benefit their season,
Yeah, I think for me, just before I bring you in, Hammer, I think Hammer,
well said, Trevor.
As good as he is, he's too left-footed for me. If you're going to play right side, if you're always looking to cut in, it's very, very simple for a defender. A defender will always try and show you the outside because he knows you haven't got a right foot. So you've got to make yourself more competent on your right, so that if you do get that little bit of space, you're going to be able to bend the crossing quickly. Kai was talking about Xerxes, and I'm sure Hammer will bring this part up. If we're going to play a big 6'4" brick shit ass of a centre half, which he clearly is, he's a huge monster, is Xerxes. We've got to deliver. You have to deliver, and that's going to be the challenge, in my opinion, for Ahmad over the Garnacho, because as Kai said, although Garnacho does like to cut in, he could still whip the ball in with his right, hence the cross for Xerxes' goal. So for me, if Ahmad wants to become a regular player, I think you're right about goal scoring, by the way, absolutely. And we know what he can do when he cuts in with his left peg. He's got a great strike and he can score goals. Anthony's going to have a big problem We know
Sure.
this. Anthony
Anthony's
knows
at
this.
the bottom now right now.
Yeah, I think Anthony realizes he's going to have a big issue, and so with Sancho, depending on what happens with Sancho. But
Anthony's biggest when he walks on the fucking pitch, he can't actually play. That's his biggest problem.
Well, yes, that is his issue. Putting his kit on first and foremost, and then walking out. Yeah, but for me, Ahmed's got to be a bit more flexible with his right. Hamma, what's your thoughts on that, pal?
Yeah. So with Ahmad, first of all, put up Trevor's thing. All right. I'm more the one about Ahmad. I'm more insulted that you insulted Ahmad like that, and while insulting me as well. But I think I get what Stu's saying about him being left-footed, but I think Ahmad has a lot more to his game than Anthony. And he's neater and can keep the ball better than Anthony. So even if he might be coming inside a little bit more, he has the ability to hold off a defender, to maybe even beat a couple defenders. And we don't always see that with Anthony, right? Anthony has well, no. I know what my honest opinion of myself is as a footballer. I'm a grunt worker. All right. If you put me at center back or you put me in the 6, all I'm going to do is tackle the shit out of people, intercept the ball, and potentially put my shoulder in somebody's chest if I need to. But that's besides the point. So Ahmad, I think, has more to his game than Garnacho. So I get what you're saying about needing to go use his right foot more, and I think he has the ability to. But I also think he's just so good at keeping the ball in different ways that it's not going to be as much of an issue. Because even today, like you said, I do agree with you with Xerxes being the freaking shit house and the what do you say? You said the brick shit house that he is.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
right. So like I do agree with that, but like you saw today, if you go back and look at it, he actually dropped to the edge of the box to be in the build-up, laid it off to somebody, and then continued his way back in. So I think Xerxes has the ability to do both and figure out his way into the box. But overall, what I'd say about the two on the wing, I think if it's played right, and if now this is where egos come into it with professional footballers, or just professionals in general, if Garnacho is willing to take the role, in my opinion, Garnacho's a better impact sub than a starter. And you always can use something like that in any sports. For anybody who watches basketball, Garnacho's a 6 man in my head, right? Yeah. You have your starting 5, and then you rotate him in when you need to make an impact. So I would love for it to just turn into Ahmad being our starter for 50, 60, 70 minutes, and then Garnacho come on as the impact sub to take advantage and do what he does. Because I think that would just be a great combo for us down the right side.
Yeah, no, that's ideal. The other thing that I do like about Ahmad Garnacho is Ahmad holds the ball, defends the ball better. He's got better stature when he carries the ball in. Kai, I'm going to bring you to our favoured goalkeeper, Mr. Onana. In different season, I think we'd all agree. Last season, first 6 months, very, very difficult. Found his form latter part of the season. What's your thoughts on his performance today and his overall command of his penalty area?
He was all right. Flapped at a few. The corners were killing him because they were actually very good corners. They were actually whipped in. They were getting whipped in directly into that space, you know. But I have just one general opinion of Onana, and it's always that he is what he is. So for me, he is a bulky keeper. Therefore, there's certain saves that he'll never get to, especially the ones that are on the floor. Fair enough, it is what it is. But he's got enough aerodynamics to make good saves, so he'll always do that. But because he's not fundamentally a goalkeeper in his head, right? He will always, there will always be a brain fart. And it's so clear because, you know, when you see good goalkeepers that are very, very much goalkeeper-esque. So like in this case, Thibaut Courtois, for example. I watch Real Madrid so much, and if you just watch him, he's just so much of a goalkeeper. And if you grew up with goalkeepers, you know, the Casillas and the Buffons, it's almost the ball's coming in the air in the box. You just see these massive arms just go zip out the sky. I got it, and then move around. But with Onana, you can actually see that there's some sort of a misjudgment or slightly 2 seconds slower, or there's something going on that's just not getting him to grab that ball. So therefore, mistakes will be made and will be punished for those mistakes. So I feel like he is what he is in terms of, unless you're going to slim him down, you're going to stretch him up a little bit, make him slightly taller, and you're going to say, all right, all we're going to do is practice handling and we're going to practice all this decision making, then you're not going to see anything different. He's a fully fledged professional goalkeeper in his head that plays just like that. So I think we just need to be either happy with what that is or not. So for me, I'm never surprised by what Onana does. I accept, I see it. I'm like, we probably shouldn't have done this, but we did. And now we're going to have this for a while. So we might as well experience it the way it is. So yeah, I have less heartburn about Onana. So I think it was a decent performance. He flapped at what I expected him to flap at. He struggled at exactly what I expected him to struggle at. He was calm when he needed to be. He distributed the ball when he needed to be. I just hate when he goes long because he wastes the ball quite a lot. And I guess it's a tactic, but he does it too often. With his left foot as well. Other than that, decent performance, I'd say.
And can I just add to that I said the summer we signed him, I said, for every Manchester United fan, you're going to get this, and this is how we're going to play, and there's going to be turnovers, and there's going to be mistakes, so you better be ready. And it's
I actually like.
I know. Yeah, I like him too. I'm just saying it's going to be part of his game. It's going to happen. So
and you can see the reason why he became a pro is because he's exactly like this. So it was probably not like oh my gosh, look at how much he's like all the other keepers. It was like, oh my gosh, look at how unique he is. We could really use him. And that's how he became a professional in that case, because he was so above average in certain things. And he's just good enough to do goalkeeper things. So he can really then hang with, the best of them to say in this modern era. But just actually say goalkeeper, everything will always look weird. Everything you always said, do the basics like this, it'll always look weird when he does it. So yeah, and I think that's just him, as a matter of fact,
I'll bring you in a minute, Dak. I kind of I don't mind him either, to be honest. I think some of the best goalkeepers are the weirdest and the craziest anyway, because my experience, you got to be off your fucking head to play between the posts, especially when you've got a 60, 70, 80 mile an hour strike coming directly at your face from 10, 12 yards. You've got to be off your fucking tree. I thought he took a couple and claimed one or two particularly well, but I think the point about today was Fulham's set piece delivery was on point pretty much all the time. That's free kicks and corners. They were brilliant, very, very dangerous. Well, ours were very hit and miss in terms of our delivery and our accuracy from our passing. So I thought that was quite interesting. Dec, you're an Onana fan. I'm with you on that one, pal.
Yeah, every great keeper has been a bloody lunatic, they have, and their madness has shown on the pitch, and I think Onana, he's up there with them being as mad as a hatter. Look, Fulham targeted every corner the same, right? They whipped it into the front post every time. They had a plan, they had an idea, and that's what they wanted to do. They targeted that kind of set piece on Onana. I thought he had a decent game tonight. I didn't think he was too bad. Yeah, he sent a few passes a bit scowies, but show me a goalie that doesn't do that. No, I think last season was very David De Gea-esque in his first season. He had a mere everything is focused on when you're at United and is reported on 20 times more. So I think he's going to have I think he has a great season ahead of him. Look, every keeper is going to have a few mad moments. Him maybe more so than most, but no, I like him. I think he'd be a good keeper for us.
Yeah, no, me too.
Sorry, can I just add to that, to what Dick is saying? Actually, you know what? The funny thing is, I think Onana also struggles with the same thing, for example, that Maguire struggles with, that Dalot struggles with, which is when the mistakes happen, and the team is not winning, then it really looks bad. Every single time, every single thing he does looks terrible. So what we need to do is, I think, win games. Those mistakes will happen, but concede 1, score 4, type of a thing. So I definitely think that Onana will
Right, Trevor's
benefit
pepper
from
sprayed.
winning games.
Yeah. Good old Trev. Wonderful. I'll let you respond to that in a sec, Dirk. Good to see you, Johnny K. Magnificent game of football. I'm not so sure it was magnificent. Yeah, I was going to say, only joking. No, you're absolutely right. It's great to have you in the chat, mate. And I'll see you tomorrow night, actually, I believe. So we're looking forward to that. Deck, give Trevor your best.
Don't worry, I'll get Trev's address and details. All of them. So yeah,
I've been saying this for a while. I think I've just been slacking. Trevor been talking shit since like the last couple of years.
Trev is brilliant. He loves us all, just Trev. To be fair,
come on here, Trev, and we'll see who'll win the battle.
Yeah, he loves us all, guys.
I'm gonna send Slenderman to your house, Trev.
Yeah,
we're
almost 40 minutes into it. We'll go for another few. So I'll just get you some, to sum it up. I don't want to do player ratings today. First game, you're not going to get great player ratings. I think you've all summed up the game brilliantly. I've said it before and I'll say it again, but I've never said it when Deck's on the channel. So here we go. This is for you, Deck. People tune into this TV because they understand valued opinion and they get proper football opinion. They get proper football dissection. Certainly when Kai's on, again with my training, he's getting there better. Hammer's got a lot to learn, obviously, Deck, as you well know.
I don't know about that. That was a little bit of an emphatic a lot there. I don't know about all
we
that.
love Hammer. We love Hammer.
Hammer's a legend.
Yes, he is. You're all legends, and Deck. Don't you worry, you'll get there, pal.
I thought Dara was after training Kai when he started talking. I was there. Jesus.
Just wait till you're on with Dara. You'll love him. So just for the record, lads, when I land in Ireland next, Deck's going to be there ready to arrest me.
Oh, wow!
just for being just for landing in Ireland. Get him gone, guys.
Don't worry, I'll know when you're coming over the border. Don't worry.
Actually, I'll let you know. I'll be there in October. I've got to pop over for I've got to pop over for a bit of business. So I'll let you guys know when I'm over.
Because that wasn't sketchy.
Yeah. Hey, Vicky's in the chat. Marc's in the chat. Trev says I'm not allowed in Ireland. You're probably right. Deck sees my passport pop up. That's it. Well, I don't need a passport, obviously, but he sees my name pop up. He'll flag me now, won't he, pal? don't anywhere near. Yeah, I'll be on a watch list. Guys, before we wrap up, then let's go through your man of the match. I'll start with mine, and mine's going to surprise you, I'm afraid. Because it isn't from the red side. I thought Tete was absolutely superb tonight.
I would have wanted to talk about that little motherfucker. God,
well, you can. I thought he was. I don't know about you guys, but I thought he was absolutely brilliant. Let's just have a quick round of robin on Tete. Wouldn't it be great if we could have gone Dallo, white top, Tete, a red top? I just thought he was tremendous today. Deck, start with you. Just give me your thoughts on.
He was. He had a very good game for them. Fantastic game. I thought him and Pereira actually had a very good game. Pereira, very good game. My man of the match from the United side, obviously I've said it, Maguire. I thought he was brilliant tonight. Doesn't get a lot of man of the match awards, but he does for me tonight from the United side.
Yeah, Hammer.
Yeah, I agree too. Well, no, I don't know, not on Maguire, but I agree on the Tete thing. I mean, he seemed to be there in both boxes, which I don't know how the hell he was doing it, but like he seemed to be involved in their offense as well, and he was just doing great stuff at the back. Damn, my man of the match for United. That's hard for me.
Not a bad chat from Trev. Again, not a bad chat from you.
Yeah, he's one of the ones on my mind. I want to say low-key because I think he had a consistent game the entire time he was on there is Manu. And I think he showed more like of what we're going to be getting from him for the rest of the season.
Okay.
Yeah, totally agree. So you're going to go with Mainu?
Yeah. And like I said, I would say Mazware too, like Trevor said, but I don't know. I think I'm getting a little bit overexcited because I think I think everybody sees it, but there's so much potential in what Mainu could become for us in the midfield. Like it's going to be ridiculous when he actually grows into what he can be.
Yeah, I mean, he is my type of footballer. Me and Deck have been on a few shows recently, and we've spoken about him on a couple of occasions. And I always describe Mainu as having a 5-yard shroud around him, don't I, Deck? Like an invisible shroud, because nobody can get anywhere near him. You know, he turns the ball in tight places. He can take it. You can't knock him off the ball easy. He's got wonderful feet. Knows the depth and delicacy of a pass or the strength of a pass. He's phenomenal.
I don't want to say the words that Scholesy said, but yeah.
You can't use that on my show.
No, I know.
We can't use the WC on my show. You know that.
Oh, not even that. Just the name he said.
Oh yes,
I can't say that either. No, don't do it. Don't do it.
I couldn't hear that. Sorry, I muted you, mate. I muted you.
He's my goat, but
yes.
Mainu is my.
You know your full.
I mean, look at that. What is that?
Oh, I don't know. Get him
there
off.
There we see.
Look at that. Look at that. That's Kobe Mainu. I've even got a Kobe Mainu shirt. Come on.
Have you? Good lad.
Yeah, he's like my son who doesn't know he's my son. You know what I mean?
Like you know your fullbacks, mate. Are you coaching this year, by the way, fella? Or
yeah. Won the league last year. So
that's all right. Well, I can't. Let me just check my bank because I can't see my salary. I'll tell you what, Deck. Let me get you get him arrested. Get him in Holland to get him arrested.
But I'm coaching. I am coaching this year, so it's gonna be great.
Y'all need any new center backs, Kai?
Actually, center back is a position we're looking. We got some trials in a few weeks, so if you fly down, come through.
Hey, I would need to lose about 40 pounds first.
You gotta get on Stu's program, bro. Whatever he's using, you gotta get that, bro.
Shit.
That's it. I'll send you my program over.
I played centre back in Old Trafford in May. I made my Old Trafford debut at Fulham last May. So hopefully Ten Hag is looking at the match video. So if you're stuck, I'll turn up.
I meant to ask you, Dave, what pegs were you wearing that day?
What?
I meant to ask you what pegs you were wearing that day. I'm
hoping it is so long since I played soccer. I actually took the young fellas' boots and everything. Now Tesla's provided all the gear for us, so they had shorts, socks, jersey for us. We got to keep that gear, but fabulous day. It was unreal.
Amazing.
All you needed to do was turn up with your Copa Mondials. You'd have really looked the part.
Yeah, no, I ran out on the pitch thinking I was 20 again, just running around kicking people. So it was
I do that on a Saturday afternoon for the mighty Tipton Town. Skipper this year, by the way, Kai. Skipper, you got the old band on.
Okay.
Yeah. Over 50s, I'm like a super vet.
I'm in the same boat as Stu, yeah.
Oh, I tell you what, it's absolutely brilliant though. You know, it's the camaraderie. You know, when you're back playing 11 aside, it's absolutely brilliant. But Kai, sorry, I digress. What did you think of Tete for a start, and then who would your man of the match be for Manchester United?
Yeah, I mean, he was good. He was very good. But I mean, it was also easy to stand out in Fulham today. They didn't really actually play as well as, for example, they played the last time. I mean, even the day which everyone got head loss at some stage, and they got like 2 red cards or something random like that. They also played way better in that game. So But I mean, I think he was okay because he had a lot of defending to do and he had a lot of space to defend. So that's why he also looked very good. But he pretty much didn't do anything else except defending against Rashford the entire time and putting in last ditch challenges and all of that. So it was good in terms of
which is what you want, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what you want if you're on the back foot. And yeah, my man of the match. See, funny enough, people aren't talking about Bruno, but the guy was creating chance after chance after chance after chance, and it was very easy for him today. It was so easy because we were winning the ball in such good places, so it was really a much easier game. So I think
that's a good point. That's a good point. Yeah,
I think Bruno for me,
on fire.
if you. Yeah, it's easy to look at Bruno because it's he's always good generally, but he was actually very good. If you look at the numbers, you'll be really surprised that at what he was able to do today. So
sometimes eyes are deceiving, aren't they?
Exactly. And he took different
right.
positions as well. He played a different position once De Ligt and Evans came on. Then he was playing almost like a left wing back sort of position, in which he actually turned the guy. I don't know who he turned. Was it Tete? I'm not sure who he turned, but he turned the guy, pushed the ball forward, stopped, faked him, came back inside, and then picked the pass that actually got us to the right-hand side to switch the play. So he was actually really good today. Funny enough.
If you check out Deck's appearance at Old Trafford, you'll see something similar. That's where
something
Bruno
like that. Wow.
That's where Bruno
10 performance.
he got on his t-shirt. Watch this, Bruno, and then popped it back down.
But yeah, but shout out to Mazraoui because I think very, 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 very close one because listen, a lot of talk about Aaron Wan-Bissaka again, like we said, but today you saw a really competent right back. You just saw someone like it was like, oh, he plays for Bayern. He was playing for Bayern Munich. Yeah, all right. That looks something similar to that.
What you saw today, Kai, and I say this a lot, and people don't necessarily get what I mean, but you saw a professional footballer.
Yeah.
What I mean by that is you can put him anywhere on any pitch in any place in the world, and he will adapt and play to that level. You can't really argue with what the kid, what the guy did. He comes on, he doesn't look nervous.
Yeah, he was calm as hell the whole game.
Got the ball, moved it when he needed to,
and
when he could.
Did you see his reading of the game as well?
Oh God, yeah.
That was top class. Covering the space in between Maguire and him at times when it was too large, and when he had to go and when he had to come back, and he wasn't sort of committing or over committing, and he was winning the challenges in front of Iwobi as well. I mean, Iwobi was poor as well, but he was reading it to win it in front of him instead of having Iwobi collect the ball and then have to defend 1v1. He very rarely had to defend that today. So and back post, there was a moment where the ball came back post and he won it quite easily. Great timing. And we were always angry about Aaron, about back post defending. So, yeah, I think it was a real competent, professional. It's the stuff like Stu. It's the stuff you love to see. This is the thing. You want to see a guy who can just do the normal stuff very well and not be panicking half the time. So yeah.
And I would just like to point out when you bring it up reading the game, it's something that I talk about. I talk and think about for myself when I think about any sport. Being able to read the game in any sport is depending on how high of a level you can do it is like a goddamn superpower.
It's a cheat code. Yeah.
It's something I always talk to my kids about, Kai. When I'm doing some coaching, I say make sure whatever you do, you come in with a calmness and you remain calm throughout your game. And if you're not quite with it, get rid of the ball immediately. Bring it, move it, bring it, move it, bring it, move it until you're comfortable. Then you can start playing a little bit, mix it up. And I tell them that all the time. I said, just take a deep breath. So I just thought the way he walked out, the way that he took his first touch, the way that he commanded his own area. I thought he was brilliant today, Mazzari. So I would give him that just based man of the match from Manchester United, just based on that. I think everyone else is right. I totally agree with Maguire. What a shame for Harry that Mazzari made his debut, because otherwise I think Harry would have been, because I thought he was great. And I think
The tackle he made, Stu, the last ditch tackle. Listen, as a centre back, I think everyone on this panel, you guys, as I don't know, I think Hamma's also centre back as well. I don't know about Dick, but even as a football guy, when you're defending a counter, which is basically like a 3v2 or 2v1,
Jesus.
the one thing that you can't do is do one thing too much. You have to be absolutely perfect, because the advantage is not yours. So, of course, the angle's covered. And if you see what Maguire actually does, is he actually baits. He baits him into taking a touch a little bit this way, knowing that it's going to come back this way. And the moment he does that, then he sticks out his leg, and it was absolutely spot on perfect. And that's 1-0, basically.
He did two wonderful things, did Maguire.
I'm wondering if Stu's going to say the same thing I'm thinking.
He stepped slightly to the right. So where Pereira was, he stepped slightly to the right, which gave Pereira two choices. And that's why he made that little slip. Got two choices. Do I go around him on Maguire's left, or do I try and make that pass? And he tried to make the pass, and that was it. And did you see the yardage never closed hardly between him and Pereira?
Yes.
And that's great defending. That is high quality. People will look at that and think, "Oh, we got lucky." He didn't. I promise you now. He made that situation work for him, and he takes the ball. And away we go. It's a wonderful, wonderful bit.
I was going to say, that got me excited, because the second one was what I was waiting for. Like he didn't close in early, and he left that gap. And leaving that gap as a defender allows you to have the chance when you're in that type of position to play two players, because you're playing the guy with the ball and you're cutting off the guy without the ball.
And it's still because we all know, and I bet everyone was thinking this. If that was Traore, Adama Traore, he would have ran Maguire, wouldn't he? Because Traore knows he would have got round Maguire. Maguire's never going to get to him. He can rush it. But Pereira's more of a thinker. And Maguire knew that. Maguire knew he was a thinker, positioning himself in the right place. Away we go. Gents, it's been a brilliant show. Oh, sorry. Go on, Kai.
Sorry, before we finish, I think we also forgot Martinez. Listen, after the first slip, after that, he was very good. And the way he bodied Traore for that second time, I was so
Traore
happy.
Should be ashamed of himself.
A player do this to him. He was just like.
He dropped his baby oil off his arm, didn't he? Did you notice on his arm, his baby oil gone?
And just walked out of bounds. Didn't worry about it. It was just like, you're not getting the ball.
I
love Martinez. Man. I love that.
Trev, just so you know, I'll be Dublin. I've got to go to Dublin, not for a piss up, but I've got to do some business in Dublin. So I will be there in October. Guys, been a great show. Brilliant by all of you. Yeah, you've all made me laugh today, which is what it's all about. We've won. Manchester United have won. Nate, you're sorry. You're late to the party, but we're glad to have you, mate. We're glad to have you. Dec, just before we go, what would you give the game as a whole out of 10? What would you give the match as a whole out of 10?
It's definitely hard with the first game of the season. Look, it's going to take a few games for us to bed in. The main thing was getting the 3 points. The performance was never going to be 100%. I was hoping for a 3-0 win. I thought United had to set down a marker, but come here, 1-0 did me. I'd give the game 6 out of 10. And they're going to build from that, most definitely.
Yeah, that's a fair comment. And Dec, where can people find you on your socials, if you want people to have your socials?
Yeah, so I'm on Twitter now at DecMad1973, giving away my age there, a young 51.
We're close, Dec, we're close.
Yeah, I also have a Facebook page, MUFC Irish Reds. Anyone can find me on there. I'm all over the social media, so track me down.
Fantastic. Hamma, what would you give the game out of 10?
I'd go a little bit higher than Dec. I'd go 7 or 7.5. Yes, there's still stuff we can build on, but the consistency, and like I think I talked about it before when I talked about the defense, the lack of panic that I saw, and the control that I saw, and I think majority of the players on the pitch today really speaks to the potential direction of this season. So yeah, I'll give it a 7.5.
Fantastic. And people can find you?
Yeah, at that right there on Twitter. I do have other socials, but I'll be honest, I'm not that active on the rest of them. So you can find me on Twitter. You can always hit me up. Trev, don't come talking shit on my Twitter too. I don't need you talking shit in both two places.
And Kai, what would you give the game out of 10, pal?
I would give the game out of 10 an 8, simply because a year ago at this time we were watching Cunha and Wolves absolutely run us ragged. We were absolutely ran ragged that day. And it didn't stop. So I'd like to say my big thanks to Mr. Ruud van Nistelrooy, because if you bring in a head coach that is also different and that plays a certain way, you also are probably going to see a lot of the stuff a bit more advanced. Instead of having a yes man who is your best friend, who looks exactly like you, now you've got somebody who is wearing glasses looking at you like, yeah, that's not a thing. We need not to do that. And I think there's kind of that relationship that's probably building, as you know, having two big heads or two people who are, like that. Ten Hag goes home and complains to the wife about what Ruud said. He does that. Like, he's like, oh, this guy just comes in and he thinks he can say it. Of course he does that, but you go back to work and you say, all right, chief, what are you saying? Let's work it together. And I think there's a strict instruction that they have to have some sort of a plan together. And I think we will see a lot better, a lot of the basics. And I think that's why I give the game an 8 from what we saw last year when we got destroyed by Wolves. And then Onana punched someone in the face. And Deck has to arrest Onana for that. But yeah.
Don't arrest him. Don't arrest him. We need him.
You can find me on just find me on X at Kai_Gozo. I say a lot of stuff there. So
he does. Brilliant. I would give the game 7. I'm kind of with all you guys, really. You can use and abuse me at @StewWoolley on Twitter if you wish. Guys, we've got a really busy week coming up. We're away at Brighton next weekend. I think it's the 24th, isn't it? Which will be quite a test for us, or might not be a test. We don't know. I expect Zirkzee to start that game as well. Deck, you've been absolutely wonderful tonight, mate, as always. Absolutely brilliant to have you on, as always, pal. Somebody who talks a lot of sense and has seen United through the good, the bad, and the ugly, rather like myself. Hamma, love having you on, mate, as always. You look rather fresh today, which is good.
Are you referring to the usual thing?
I don't know what I'm referring to.
I have something waiting for me next to me, so that's what we're.
You're looking rather fresh. Love the new do, mate. It's been a while since I've seen you, so you're looking great. And Kai, congratulations on your title last year, mate. I didn't know you'd won, and I give you a new father as well. Did I see that?
Yes. I'm a new father. Yes,
congratulations.
Thank you. Pal. I've got a son, Santiago. He's going to be a footballer. I gave him a footballer name.
Yeah. Yes,
we all know what's going to happen. He's going to play for United, and he's going to end up at the Santiago Bernabeu, like his name. Like any United legend really should do. But yeah, no, it's been a crazy time. I'm enjoying it. I don't find it difficult. I think it's I didn't wait 32 years to start complaining about something I waited this long for. So I think if I had a child at 18, I'd be saying, oh my God, it's so hard. But I think at this stage, you're kind of like, cry some more. Do that crying thing.
Life's already kicked you in the nuts a few times. What's another few kicks?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I just have a different perspective on it all, but I know when he starts arguing with me, that's when we're going to change this narrative a little bit. So right now, I think I'm very happy in this.
Well, and so you should be. You just wait till he's 23 and he's phoning up at 4 a.m. in the morning. He's an hour away. Dad, will you come and pick me up? Because me and Deck have
That's
been
the
there.
one.
Me and Deck have been there.
This is why I'm going to remain the uncle forever. It's just, you know what I mean?
How about you can be the fun uncle?
Uncle Hamma's great.
Yeah. Guys, we've got a lot coming up this week on the channel. Watch out for Carl's United Road show. It's always brilliant. He always has some great guests on. Yours truly has even made an appearance on that. So hence I use the word great. And then later on in the week, we've got Talk of the League podcast, which is hosted by either Evan or Jonathan. Dara will come in with the preview. And Nathan's just started a new show as well. Forgive me, Nathan, I can't exactly quite remember. I think it's the Future of Football, Deck. Am I right in saying that?
Yeah.
The future of football is always great. Reach out to these guys as well on X or Twitter, whatever you want to call it. Drop your comments. Please like and subscribe. Any like helps the algorithm and helps give you notifications on when you can watch a weekly armchair show. If you've liked it, again, please get in the comments outside the show and onto YouTube. But apart from that, guys, I just need to leave you with this tantalising little tidbit. Manchester United, top of the fucking league.
Yes.
Have that, lads. Have that. All the very best. Thank you again to all my guests. And we'll see you very, very soon. Take care. Bye-bye.
Cheers, lads.